Margolis, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's virtual special meeting and public hearing. The legal notice for the public hearing and the agenda for the special meeting are available on the town's website. The legal notice for the public hearing contains the specific call-in number for those members of the public who wish to comment on any application before the commission. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this hearing is being conducted in accordance with Governor Lamont's Executive Order Number 7B. Commissioners and town staff are participating by WebEx, and members of the public can view the meeting live on West Hartford Community Television or on West Hartford Community Interactive, Comcast Channel 5, and Frontier TV Channel 6098, or at www.whctv.org. The meeting is also being recorded for on-demand viewing, which will be available on the town's website. Because of the virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before I begin. First, I ask all participants to please mute your devices when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you are participating via audio only, or I do not call on you and the debate is ending, then please unmute your phone and let me know so that I can recognize you. Second, I would like to describe how the hand-raising process will work. Unfortunately, our conference technology does not allow us to identify individual callers by name. So when the public comment portion of the meeting begins, the moderator will randomly unmute one call-in line and ask everyone to say their name at the same time. The voice that we hear will belong to the person whose line is unmuted. That person will then be recognized by the moderator and asked to restate their name and provide their street address. We will repeat this process until we have unmuted every phone line. It is very important to say your name each time you are prompted by the moderator. If the moderator unmutes a phone line and does not hear a voice after the prompt, that phone line will be removed from the conference. If you have called in and are also streaming the meeting on YouTube or watching on TV, please silence your other device when you speak. Otherwise, there will be an echo because there is a slight delay in the television and streaming broadcast. Third, pursuant to Governor Lamont's Executive Order 7B, all speakers must state their name and title each time they speak. Fourth, because of the difficulty in tallying voice votes on a video conference, I will require that all votes be taken by roll. Fifth, a reminder that if any participant has a problem with their connection, you should immediately call Uridah Reidheimer, whose phone number you were provided earlier. She will let me know, and we will recess the meeting while the problem is resolved. If it cannot be resolved quickly, we will ask you to call into the meeting using a phone and participate via audio only. I will now call the roll. Each commissioner must identify themselves and then respond here or present. Secretary Mitchell Lewis.
Present.
Commissioner Deborah Cohen.
Present.
Commissioner Cynthia Cormier.
Present.
Commissioner Julie Harris. Commissioner Julie Harris.
Present.
Thank you. So I will now proceed to the first applicant. Mrs. Moderator, would you please unmute the first applicant, Mrs. Doyle? Mrs. Doyle will present the application.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Doyle has been unmuted.
Thank you. This is a certificate of appropriateness for 1564 Boulevard, submitted by homeowner Katherine Doyle for addition of a backyard metal fence. Mrs. Doyle, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Would you please state your name and address?
My name is Katherine Doyle, 1564 Boulevard, West Hartford.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Doyle. Would you kindly tell us about your project?
Yes, my project became very apparent to me this spring when I had an 11-month-old puppy that I was no longer able to handle myself very well because of failing health. And it was becoming where it was an option where I was going to have to let my puppy give him back to the breeder, which is something I did not want to do. And in desperation, I made plans to fence in my backyard. By doing that, I was aware that if a backyard fence was going to be put in, that I would need to make the forms out in triplicate to the historic committee, but this was in March, and I did start to make out the forms, and then I realized that the March meeting was canceled, and I was desperate for the fence. I knew the fence that I was hoping for, and I just had a survey of my yard because my backyard has a dog leg in it, and I needed to do it right. And so I had a survey of the yard, hired a fence person. He understood my situation, and I also asked him about a wooden fence, and he said he would have to build a wooden fence. He would build a wooden fence, and I said, I need this fence as soon as possible. And so I had seen this fence before in a dog yard, and so this is the one I chose. And then I also found out that the April meeting was canceled. So I just had to go ahead and do it.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Doyle. Commissioners, if anyone has questions for Mrs. Doyle, kindly raise your hand and the moderator will acknowledge you. So I have no comments. Yes, I do. I have Commissioner Deborah Cohen.
Okay.
Mrs. Cohen, please unmute yourself, identify yourself.
Hi, this is Commissioner Deborah Cohen. Can you hear me okay?
Go ahead, Deb. Mrs.
Hi, this is
Doyle.
this
Mrs.
is
Doyle
Commissioner
is
Deb
now,
Cohen. Can you hear me okay?
Mrs. Doyle is now on mute, so go ahead. You have the floor.
Yes? Okay. My question was with the fence. Okay, I just wanted to try to understand better. Are the pictures with the application, is that the type of fence that Mrs. Doyle is going to put in? I'm just wondering what yard these photos are from.
May I speak?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yes, Mrs. Doyle.
Okay. There is the fence has been already installed, and there is only one photo that is of the fence. It lines up with some flowers on my neighbor's property to the left of it. That is a picture of my yard. The other fence pictures are ones that the contractor gave to me to show me the fence.
Built, and one of the 3 pictures that was provided with the application is of her actual backyard. I will also note from the town building department that Mrs. Doyle's fence contractor did not apply for a fence permit.
Has joined the meeting.
Do we have any further comments or questions from the commissioners? So I will make a comment that, this is Commissioner Margolis again. I will make a comment that
Mike Barlow, Page Canassus.
Has joined the meeting.
while I am not happy that we are voting on a fence that has already been built, Mrs. Doyle's house was built in 1937, and there were certainly metal fences similar to this one at the time that her house was constructed. So I'd like the commissioners to take that into account. That's my opinion, of course, as we vote. Ms. Moderator, do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on 1564 Boulevard?
Mr. Chairman, I will now unmute the members of the public, and they can speak if they wish to make a comment about this application. Mr. Chairman, can you repeat the application number so that they are aware?
We are talking about 1564 Boulevard. If there are any members of the public who would like to address the commission regarding 1564 Boulevard, please do so now.
It doesn't look like it, Mr. Chairman. Please proceed.
The application for certificate of appropriateness of 1564 Boulevard as submitted by Mrs. Katherine Doyle. Do I have a second? Kindly raise your hand. I have a second from Commissioner Cormier. Commissioner Cormier, please state your name and state that you would like to second the motion.
This is Commissioner Cormier, and I would second the motion to accept this certificate of application from Katherine Doyle for a fence.
Thank you very much. We now need to vote one by one. I will call on you individually, state your name, and whether it's a yes or a no. Commissioner Cohen.
This is Commissioner Cohen. Yes.
Commissioner Lewis. Commissioner Lewis, you have to unmute your microphone.
Commissioner Lewis, yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Cormier.
Commissioner Cormier, yes.
And Commissioner Harris.
Commissioner Harris, yes.
And Commissioner Margolis, also yes. Certificate of appropriateness for 1564 Boulevard passes unanimously. Mrs. Doyle, thank you for joining us. The building department will be notified tomorrow. I would suggest very strongly that your fence contractor apply for a permit for that fence, ma'am.
He can do that now?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting, or feel free to drop off.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all very much. From
Thank you.
Katherine Doyle.
Thank you. Our next certificate of appropriateness that we'll be discussing is 1596 Boulevard, submitted by homeowner Graham Chase for removal and replacement of existing driveway. Mrs. Moderator, would you kindly unmute Mr. Chase?
Mr. Chairman, I believe Mr. Chase has been unmuted.
Thank you. Mr. Chase, would you kindly tell us about your project?
Good evening. Yeah, as the application said, it just remove the existing blacktop, no footprint change, and just put down new blacktop.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chase. Commissioners, if anyone has questions for Mr. Chase, kindly raise your hand. Seeing no questions, I would like to call for a vote on 1596 Boulevard, removing existing blacktop and driveway and repaving with new asphalt. Driveway footprint will not change. I make a motion to accept this application for certificate of appropriateness. Do I have a second?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. This is Deputy
Yes, ma'am.
Corporation Counsel Gina Verano. I'm not sure that you called for public comment on this application.
Thank you so much, Attorney Verano. You are correct. Madam Moderator, would you kindly unmute the public so that we can find out if there are public comments on 1596 Boulevard?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. At this moment, I have unmuted all of our public callers. If you wish to speak on this application, you may do so now.
This is Chairman Margolis. We are looking for public comments on 1596 Boulevard. Are there any? Please say so if you would like to speak.
I don't believe there are any. Please proceed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second? Kindly raise your hand. I have a second from Deborah Cohen. Please unmute your microphone and state your second and name.
Hi, this is Deborah Cohen. I second that.
Thank you. While I have you on the phone, Mrs. Cohen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lewis, how do you vote on 1596 Boulevard?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Cormier, how do you vote on 1596 Boulevard?
Yes.
And Commissioner Harris, how do you vote on 1596 Boulevard?
I vote yes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Margolis also votes yes. So the certificate of appropriateness for 1596 Boulevard is unanimously passed. Mr. Chase, thank you for your time and patience this evening. Our next application is from Mr. Michael Barlow and Paige Canosis at 16, excuse me, oh, I'm wrong, I've pulled the wrong one. Our next application is for 66 West Hill Drive, Mr. Monte and Suzanne Henderson. This is an application submitted by the homeowner for removal and replacement of an existing fence. Madam Moderator, would you kindly unmute Mr. Henderson?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Henderson has been unmuted.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson, would you please state your name and address and tell us about your project?
Hi, Monte Henderson, 66 West Hill Drive. We had a fence installed 20 years ago. It's at the end of its life. So we're looking to replace it with similar specifications, similar materials. The one difference is we had a stockade fence, which I think you can see in the photos I submitted, running along Farmington Avenue. We'd like to change the style of that, not the height. It would become a solid tongue and groove red cedar wood privacy fence is what our contractor said. It'll have a flat top. It'll still be 6 feet, it will be removed and then replaced on the existing footprint.
Perfect. This is Commissioner Margolis. Mr. Henderson, thank you very much for explaining your project to us. So if I understand correctly, we are replacing a dilapidated wood fence with a new wood fence. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, does anyone have questions or comments for Mr. Henderson on 66 West Hill Drive? Seeing no hands, Madam Moderator, I would ask you to find out if any member of the public would like to address the commission on 66 West Hill Drive.
Mr. Chairman, I have now unmuted all of the public callers. Please, if you have any comments regarding this application, say it now. Mr. Chairman, it doesn't look like anyone would like to participate or comment.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. At this point, I would like to forward a motion that we accept the application for certificate of appropriateness for 66 West Hill Drive, Monte and SUZANNE Henderson. Do I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner Harris. Kindly state your name and your second.
This is Commissioner Julie Harris. I second the motion.
Thank you. Let's go to vote. Commissioner Cohen, state your name and your vote, please.
Commissioner Cohen, I vote yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Harris?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Cormier?
Commissioner Cormier, yes.
And Commissioner Margolis also yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Henderson. The building department will be notified of your approved certificate of appropriateness in the morning. Thank you kindly.
Thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Our last certificate of appropriateness is for 1605 Boulevard,
A
submitted
participant has left the meeting.
by homeowner Michael Barlow for removal and replacement of existing driveway. Madam Moderator, would you please bring Mr. Barlow into the call?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Barlow is now on the call.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barlow. Welcome to the West Hartford Historic District Commission. Would you kindly tell us about your project?
Sure. Thank you. So we are just replacing an existing blacktop driveway, which is in bad need of replacement. And the only change is we are asking to pave a small turnoff where we have been parking a car for the better part of 20 some odd years on some gravel.
Thank you. And I'll let the record note that a drawing of the paving job and a photograph is included in the certificate of appropriateness. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments for Mr. Barlow regarding 1605 Boulevard? Kindly raise your hand. Seeing no comments from the commissioners, I will ask Madam Moderator to ask the public if there is anyone who'd like to speak regarding this application.
Mr. Chairman, the public has been unmuted. If they have any comments, they should state them now. Mr. Chairman, it doesn't look like there's any public comments. Please proceed.
Thank you. I would like to, this is Commissioner Margolis, I would like to make a motion that we accept the application for certificate of appropriateness of 1605 Boulevard made by Michael Barlow. Do I have a second from the commissioners? I have a second from Commissioner Cormier. Kindly state your name and second.
Commissioner Cormier, I'll second the motion.
Thank you. And now a vote. Commissioner Lewis? Commissioner Lewis needs to unmute his microphone. Commissioner Lewis, your vote, please. Commissioner Lewis, you are still muted. Kindly unmute, state your name and your vote.
Lewis, approve.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Harris.
Commissioner Harris, I vote yes.
Commissioner Cormier.
Commissioner Cormier, yes.
Commissioner Cohen.
Mike Barlow, Page Canassus.
Has left the meeting.
Commissioner Cohen.
Commissioner Cohen, yes.
And Commissioner Margolis also yes. So 1605 Boulevard passes. Thank you all very much. The next order of business on the agenda is to accept the minutes from the Monday, January 27th meeting. Do I have any comments from any of the commissioners? I make a motion to accept the minutes of the January 27th meeting as published on the Town of West Hartford website. Do I have a second? Commissioner Harris, please unmute and second.
Commissioner Julie Harris, I second the motion.
And we need to vote. Commissioner Lewis.
I wasn't there.
Okay. Commissioner Cohen.
Commissioner Cohen, I approve the minutes.
Thank you. Commissioner Cormier.
Commissioner Cormier, I approve the minutes.
And Commissioner Harris.
Commissioner Harris, I approve the minutes.
And Chairman Commissioner Margolis also approves the minutes. January 27th, 2020 minutes are approved. Commissioners, item 7 on the agenda is commissioners' concerns and comments. Do we have anything to discuss at this point? Kindly raise your hand.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Gina Verano, Deputy Corporation Counsel. I just, as a matter of course, how do you record that last vote? Is that a 4 in favor with 1 abstention?
That was 4 in favor with 1 abstention. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any concerns or comments for this meeting? In that case, I would like to thank you all for an interesting and difficult meeting. And it is now 5:29 p.m. on Monday, May 18th. And Commissioner Michael Margolis closes the meeting and thanks you all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
The participant has left the meeting.
Good job. Bye.
Bye-bye.